Hello, everybody. Yeah, I know. You saw me out there working earlier, so I figured I'd double up on my content today since I had a little time. I'm not working today, but I got my gear on, so you know where we ride. Anyway, I was looking at my topics because I got my topics wrote down here in Pop's little book here. Here are a couple that someone threw at me. Which decade produced the best cars? Okay. We already know that one. I mean, clearly the 50s and 60s and late 70s, right up until 73. That decade was the best. Some people might say that's now, but I guess it's a difference of opinion. The old guy would say, hey, we had better cars, we had better music, we had better looking chicks, all those things. They would say all those. Okay. 2, stance culture, cool or useless? I guess it just depends on who you are and if you're in that culture or not. Most guys that are my age, 40-ish to 50 or over, don't see them riding around in a stanced car. And we're not going to get into that today, but that's really not our style. So it's not something we would consider doing. Best car design of all time? I guess it depends on what guy you are. If you're a Corvette guy, it's going to be the Vet. Granted, my favorite Vet's 1963. But granted, the 53, I don't too much care for. First gen Vet, I don't know, you either like it or you don't. The 63 split window just happened to be the best looking Vet, I think, next to the 70 model. The 68, 69, 70 Mako Shark model. Sharp nose, lots of curves like a hot chick. Yeah, very curvy, very curvaceous body, like a supermodel, like a 70s supermodel. Not one now. They're all thin, but anyway, it just depends on who you are and what you like. Do bigger wheels make a car look better? Now, this is a topic that I will delve into another time, and we'll get into that, and we'll go outside, and I'll let you know what I got on my car and how it sits and what was on it before, and we'll get into that. All right. Next one is modifying a car a waste of time, money, or is it a worthy investment? Here's where you go wrong. 1, if you're buying a car for an investment, you're not a car guy. Because number 1, you're going to spend way more money on it than what it's worth. As soon as you drive it off the lot, if it's one of them, it loses money. Whether you're driving a 15 or 16 or 18 Camaro or Mustang or Corvette or whatever, they're losing money as soon as you drive them off the lot. So unless it's a vintage car, yeah, depending on what it is, it's numbers matching and all that garbage. If you're into that, it's going to be an investment if you're looking at it that way. If your car is a family heirloom, like mine, it's priceless. There is no price. I will never sell it to you. You waste your time asking, how much would you take for it? Nothing, because it's not for sale, ever. You have to pry it out of my dead hand, and then even then it ain't going anywhere because everybody that knows that car ain't going anywhere. Anyway, Next, best first car for a gearhead. I don't know. Number one, you're the one saving the money. So, okay, prime example, I know a kid. I don't know if that's his first car, but it is a 300ZX. Now, it is a 1990-ish model, the big body Z car. You know, that's a good start. If you like those cars, that's not my thing, but you know, hey, he that's what he wanted. He's put wheels on it. He's working on it, and he's making an effort. If that's his first car, then hey, I mean, it's better than the first car I had. And I've been a gearhead my whole life, but my first car wasn't a performance car. We'll get into that another time. Last topic on this page is, are classics overrated compared to modern performance? Well, we already delved into that. We already know that the difference between them is peanut butter and jelly versus a ham sandwich. I mean, you know, it's what you want, whichever one you want. So you prefer the peanut butter and jelly, that's what you're going to go for. If you want the ham sandwich, you know, you're going to go that way. That's like comparing apples to oranges. It's, you know, whatever you want to spend, what you want to do. And being that today that they take old cars and throw modern stuff at them and try to make them ride like a new car that just looks like an old car, I really don't see what the point is. I like the actual smell of my old car. I like to improve the ride, but I don't want to make it to where it rides like a new car because it's numb. See, new cars ride numb. There's no feeling in them. You get like we talked about before. You get in a new car and you're riding in it. You can't tell how fast you're going because it's numb. It's almost like the senses are numbed because they make everything so quiet. It's compact. You know, the radio, you got all this garbage in it. You know, just it's like the euphoric feeling is gone. It's like you just get in it and you're like a robot. You turn this on, key in and push the button, and you just drive. See, in an old car, it's more visceral. But we already know that. Those of us who drive an old car, who enjoy the old car experience. So these are some topics that were thrown at me. And I decided that, okay, I'd run them by you first. I know there was another page I had here. Now, granted, some of this isn't going to apply to me because, number one, I don't own a European car. I've never had a BMW or Infiniti or Honda or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. I've never owned any of that. It doesn't appeal to me. I mean, I don't really like luxury cars. I don't really think there's a luxury in them. I think that it's a gimmick. And so the first topic on that page was American muscle versus European muscle. Now, the Europeans don't consider their cars to be muscle cars, even if they're very powerful. They can produce a very powerful sedan, and that's what it is. A sedan or a saloon or whatever you want to call it, you know, across the sea there, the pond. They don't consider their cars muscle. Just like the M3 and the M5 and the M8 and the BMW's performance, the M sector. So the M sector is the performance sector of BMW. But they don't consider their cars to be muscle cars. They're performance sedans or coupes. So they have a performance division. Kind of like Ford's got SVT, Chevrolet's got Chevrolet Performance, Dodge has got SRT. They consider their cars now, like the wife was saying, they don't call cars muscle cars anymore. Now, those of us who know the lineage behind Mustang, Camaro, Corvette, we call them muscle cars because that's what they are. The insurance industry would say, sports car. Your Corvette is a sports car. Your Mustang is a sports car, a sports coupe. your Camaro is a sport coupe. Okay? But back in 1969, a Camaro was a muscle car. It's still a muscle car. It's powerful. Corvette, Mustang, Camaro, Firebird, whatever. Muscle car. Over here. Not sports car. Sports car, Mazda Miata, Toyota Celica, Toyota Supra, Nissan 370, Nissan Z car. Those are sports cars because that's what they called them back then. They're still sports cars. Aside from that, the next topic, V8 versus turbo 4-cylinder, raw power or efficiency. I wouldn't know. I'm a V8 guy. I've had 4-cylinder cars. I hated them. So I don't own anything that's a 4-cylinder at this point. I had a 4-cylinder pickup truck. Had a couple of them. They were underpowered. They were slow. They served a purpose. It wasn't gas mileage because I could care less about gas mileage. I got to put gas in something. If it guzzles gas and it's fast and it's powerful, I'm okay with that. If it don't guzzle gas, it's slow and it won't pull a string out of a greasy cat's butt, no, I'm not enthralled. I'd be more prone to get rid of it and get something that's not as frugal, but it puts a smile on my face. Yeah. Next topic. Electric cars, future or fad? Come on now. What do you think? I mean, I get it. The whole electric car thing. No. You'll never see an electric car parked in my driveway. I'm not plugging nothing in. And I'm not paying $15,000 for a battery. Nope, I'm not doing it. And it didn't make any noise. Or I'm not piping V8 sounds into the interior because I don't have any sound. The whole thing is dumb. No, it's not a fad, but you'll have a whole bunch of people jump on board. But that's a whole nother discussion in itself. But me, no. I don't care for electric cars of any kind. Not even a hybrid car. I think they're all garbage. Next topic. Best sounding engine of all time. Wow. That's going to be a hard one. Because if you're a Ford guy, you got your 427 side oiler. That's in the Shelby Cobra. That's a nasty sounding engine. You got the 428 Cobra Jet. Okay? You got the Boss 302. I mean, you got some. Okay? Hey, let's hit Chevrolet. 427 in a Vet. You got the Yenko 427s in the Novas and the Camaros. You got your DZ 302. You got your 327. I mean, you got your 440. You got your Hemi. You got your Max Wedge. Okay, you got all these different engines, and depending on what guy you are, that's what way you're gonna lean. Now, granted, if we can all agree that one motor is the best sounding, then that's not gonna happen. So that's gonna be a difference of opinion. Next topic. Supercar versus sleepers. Right. One, I don't know anybody that owns a supercar. And that term being McLaren, Bugatti, Ferrari. I don't know anybody. Now, granted, there's plenty of cats around here that have got Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and we've seen McLarens. Even around here in this area, there's guys that got McLarens. And that's fine. The thing about those cars are, and there's not really a comparison because most of the guys who have sleepers, their car is more race car than street car. A lot of them. And yeah, it'll outdo a car that's built to just do one thing. Most of them are engineered to do, they do good on a track. You can drive them on the street, but they're track oriented, and they're more closely related to a race car than a street car. A lot of your supercars are, but we'll delve off into that one day. Next topic: all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Personally, we could talk about it. I don't own anything that's all-wheel drive. I dare say I probably never will. I tow things. I see things. I see things break a lot. So I steer clear of anything that's probably all-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive, yeah. And it doesn't snow a lot around here, so that's not a thing. But we can hit that. We can hit on that and talk about it. Here's one. My list of the top 10 best car movies of all time. Now, granted, there's a lot of car movies. 10? I mean, you're going to have some, everybody's going to have the same one, but it's not probably going to be in the same spot as my top 10, because my top 10, I'm 52 years old, so I've seen a lot, watched a lot of TV. What I think makes a car movie great might not be what somebody else thinks. And usually, if the car ain't the star, movie ain't great. I mean, it ain't even got to have a good plot, but if it's got a bad car in it, and you're just watching it because you want to see the car in action, you want to hear the car, those would be some reasonings behind why you would vote for them. All right. Next topic. Track build versus street build. Granted, we did hit on that. And then, the next topic was dailying a muscle car or a luxury sedan. Not in a luxury car, so that'd be an easy topic. It'd probably be pretty quick, and we could just get that right out of the way. I'll never buy a luxury car, so I'll never know what that's like. I've seen people who have bought cars. Let's talk about the Cadillac. The Cadillac, the V program. The V program is a great program. Can't take anything away from it. But Cadillac has never been known for being powerful. So you take the V program and amp up a car that little old ladies usually used to just go to church in, and socialites rode around in, waving and whatnot. And now it's got 500-600 horsepower and a 6-speed transmission or whatever, roasted tires from here to the end of the church block and scare all the church ladies and blow their wigs off. Yeah, you've done something to this now, and it's just not the same. Even the BMWs aren't such a beast. I mean, they most of the people that buy them don't drive them like that. And even the older people who buy the CTS-V and the sedans and whatnot, they don't drive them like that. Only a young person would get in and just mutilate the tires and treat it like a chick on prom night or something. I don't know. It just the car just gets beat on. Granted, you get one that was adult driven. When I say adult driven, it wasn't a person under the age of 50. And those cats don't drive like that. I think they're afraid of the car, probably because they like the idea that it's capable, but they're not going to drive it like that. Aside from that, those were the topics on that page. So I took the time to sit down and write down some of the things that were thrown at me. And I will delve off into some of these topics. I think the next one would probably be, I like the top 10 car movie thing. And granted, if you don't watch a lot of TV and you haven't seen a lot of movies, like let's take Smokey and the Bandit. Everybody's seen Smokey and the Bandit. If you haven't, you're obviously a new gen person. You've never seen it. I mean, everybody and their mama have seen Smokey and the Bandit. So clearly it would be on the list. But there's some movies that people haven't seen. Like your Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, your original Gone in 60 Seconds, your Gumball Rally, your Cannonball Run, your Thunder Road with Robert Mitchum, your California Kid with Martin Sheen, your Vanishing Points, all these movies came out in the genre of hot rod era, where everybody was hot rodding was in movies, and they were starting to put movies out that the star of the movie was the car. And it had a movie called The Car. It had a Hot Rod Lincoln in it. You had any number of movies. Now, this was in the 70s. So, they don't really much do that anymore now. We've gotten, Need for Speed here, and then, you got on 60 Seconds, and then it just kind of fell off with, you don't have anything. Can't forget the Venerable Bullet. But yeah, we will delve off into that. And I'm going to take a little time and I'm going to write down what my list is. And I'm going to run it by you what I think. And then there will be some honorable mentions, just some movies that not everybody's seen, but I like them. I like watching. I can watch them over and over and over because I just, something clicks, when you're watching it. That guy's like me. You're watching the movie, you're like, yeah, that reminds me of myself. Those types of movies. So I think the next one is going to be top 10 movies. Now, you be sure to hit subscribe and click on the like button and leave a comment. Now, granted, if you got a top 10, put that as your comment, what you think the top 10 are. Now, if you want to do more than 10, then you do the top 10, and then whatever you think after 10 is under that, and you can go on with the list. But I'm going to give you my top 10, and then I'll do the honorable mentions of, what could be somebody else's top 10, because everybody ain't going to have the same list, if they even have one. I mean, a lot of your car guys have a list. Top 10 movies. There's movies that just own it. It'd be like the Rock Star Hall of Fame. You got your car movie Hall of Fame, and who's at the top? I mean, we'll go there. So I ran the topics by you. And there's a few more that I got over here wrote down that I wrote on an envelope when I was coming up with topics. What's the future of the car culture? I don't know. We can discuss it, though. Next generation. How do we get them involved? We can talk about that, too. I mean, a lot of them are involved, but they're not involved in what we're involved with. I mean, granted, they can afford a classic. Now, granted, some of them can. Some of them just get what they can get. Some of them got a little money and they go out and buy a brand new car. So, we can talk about that too. Then some other things that I had came up with that were specific to the stuff that I work on. That new Fox body chassis that the Roadster Shop came up with. I had have a little discussion on that. How much it cost. The implications behind it and what it would do for your car if you bought it. That kind of thing. The F-150s with the Coyote motor in them, supercharged. Obviously, that's a big thing right now. I mean, that truck is it's like making waves. It's it's like the new 55 Chevy. I mean, it's it's cheap by today's standards to make it fast, and you know, we could discuss it. But yeah, I got a whole list of potentials. So be looking for the next one. Get your list together. I got mine. I'm gonna write it down, and we'll talk about it the next time I see you. So, besides, I'll be out there trying to get a little work done too. Oh, check this out. So, somebody wants me to do a video on this room, and I pick up things here and there while I'm out about. So I managed to pick up one of these. That's that GTD Mustang. Now, granted, I don't go looking for this. I just happen to be in a Dollar General and saw it there. Added to my collection. So, and I pick up interesting things. Here's a 55 Chevrolet I found. Here's an El Camino that I picked up. I don't have a rhyme or reason to what I buy. I don't care anything about the whole thing where they're looking for certain ones. I just buy the ones I like. Most of them are muscle cars. I always buy the Mustangs if I see something unusual. But aside from that, I've added a few more that I picked up. I just haven't put them on the wall yet. But I will make a video about this room. And I will give you a detail of how big it is. I couldn't tell you how many cars are on the wall. Maybe a couple thousand. I don't know. But we'll get into it. I'll add that to one of my videos one day. But I'm going to get off here. And I gotta get my list together. And I will catch y'all the next time. And we'll talk about that top 10 list of car guy movies. If y'all are into that. So I'm going to get my list together. And we'll discuss that on the next one. And in between me working on my cars. And leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll get back to you. I'll see you. Catch you later. Keep between the ditches, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.